Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I'm your host, Richard, and today we're here to do the 2023 F1 predictions. So this is something that we've been doing for the last 2 years, for those of you that do not are aware of, and it's been quite interesting the last 2 years anyway. So decided to bring it back for a third year in a row. And here today to dissect, the cast members' predictions is none other than Tariq. Tariq, how we doing, bro?
Yo, I'm doing well, man. I think probably last time I was on this pod was I think with the other predictions, right? So yeah, man, I really just want to get back into the predictions, see what people are saying, get into the liveries as well, because I ain't really said much about the liveries so far. I've been seeing a lot of crazy opinions, so just trying to get into that now.
Yeah, true. You are our reigning champ from last year, of course.
Yeah, of course,
No,
man, of course. You know how it is.
you've been spending that money well, yeah. Little splash, yeah.
Hey, I can't mention that on here. I can't mention this. There's just
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
things I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
Keep it just, yeah.
keep it
Say
on the
no,
low,
say
bro.
no. Yeah, cool. Right, and we've also got Chris. Chris, how are you doing today, bro?
I'm good. The fact that I'm here on the predictions pod meant I must have said something brazy in the predictions compared to everyone else. Because boy, I'm back again, like the third time already this season. Spooky.
Hey, listen, a couple people with the predictions were going a bit mad still, but I thought, do you know what? It's content in it. I don't mind. I ain't got no wishes with that. And last but not least, we've got Fun Size Qualms. How we doing today, Kwame?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Listen, yeah, let's get into some predictions. It's always good to know, what we think could happen next in this one season, and then lay down, laugh at what went wrong or what we could have done. And yeah, man, I won the first season as well. So it's good to have both the previous winners here, and yeah, let's discuss our predictions. My last year wasn't great either, so I'm trying to improve on that as well.
Hey, you're gonna have to hold that, my guy. You're gonna have to hold that. But yeah, let's get into it anyways. Cool. So let's make up the predictions. So one of the questions I asked the cast members is to name the top 5 order for the World Drivers' Championship. So as you can see, overviewing, a lot of people said Max, a few people said Hamilton. As we always got one person who said Leclerc. Now, my hat couldn't be here today because doing some other shit. So, I'm actually coming to you on this, Chris. Chris, you're one of the people who said Lewis will win the championship this year after actually surprisingly coming 6th last year. So, Chris, what is your reason and explanation for deciding that Hamilton will become champ again this year?
I think the cost cap breach for Red Bull is going to stunt them. I think the gap's going to close up between all the top cars, and the data showed that Hamilton was faster than Russell last year. So I'm banking on that to continue, whilst Russell still has some things to learn from Lewis. So he's going to, finally cement his 8th and get that 8th championship. I feel like Ferrari, I don't know what they're on, so I've been a bit more conservative with them, and I placed Max 3rd because I know Max is Max. He's going to do bits, but I think as the season progresses, Mercedes are going to get better and better and be 1 and 2. So that's why I think, and with Lewis being the better driver, he will get the championship. Like last year I had the drivers the other way around because I expected a bit of Merc nonsense, but this year I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. I think the time for messing about is over and done with them, and it's time for them to be serious.
No, yeah, I can agree with that still. It'll be interesting to see if Lewis is back in the championship fight this year. But yeah. Also, I'm gonna come to you, Kwame. Kwame, what's your reason for putting Max as a champion this year again? Of course, he's won it 2 years on the bounce, maybe controversially, but why do you think he's going to do 3 years in a row?
The reason I voted Max was because I don't see the Red Bull in any time slowing down. In the sense of that, I don't see the other teams making I think, don't get me wrong, I think the Mercedes are definitely going to improve on last year, especially towards the end. They finally got to understand their concept of their car, and as you saw, their performances were getting better and their consistency was better. So I think they'll close the gap. But again, I think Red Bull just run away again with. You see how now the majority of cars are always seeing how teams Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin are not even copying some of Red Bull's designs in the car as well. They're like the guys to go at the moment. Guys to go at the moment. So I feel like there's reason why I put Max first, because I feel like he's just been phenomenal this year, like last year, and knew his cars and the aerodynamic, they're gonna cook. Well, Max is gonna cook, but we'll talk about that later.
Cool. And Tariq, you've actually put Lewis as 5th this year. I mean, it would be a slight improvement on there last year, but going off the general conscience of the rest of the cast, that's actually quite surprising. So, Tariq, why have you decided to put Lewis 5th this year?
I just think it's the car. I don't have faith in the car. I think even with some information that's come out about testing and driving of the certain cars to this point, even then I feel like my fears are confirmed, to be honest. I don't think Mercedes are on the same level as Ferrari and Red Bull yet. I still think they have a way to go, and because of that, I don't think either Hamilton or Russell are going to be able to kind of catch up and start competing at the top. I think for the most part, what I was thinking in my head was whether it would be Hamilton or Russell for that 5th place spot. And I'm giving it to Hamilton just because I think he's just more experienced, a better driver. I think a lot of people forget that last season there was like a period of races where Hamilton was pretty much just testing random different settings for the team, and that's why it really impeded his times, his points and stuff like that. So he was lagging behind Russell for that period of time. And as the season went on and they started giving him, started acclimatizing more to his sayings, the way he wanted to drive, then he was making up points and stuff like that and having better performances. So that's why I think Hamilton, if they start from equal footing, him and Russell, I think Hamilton will edge it. But to get to winning the championship and stuff like that, no way. Honestly, I don't think that's happening at all. I feel like Mercedes have got a long way to go for that to happen. Also, in regards to Max, I know people are talking about how Red Bull have been penalized basically with the tunnel time and stuff like that, but even then I don't think it's going to impede them that much, which is a problem in itself for the punishment, but that's a different discussion. But yeah, I think, to be honest, I don't see the standings changing much from last season. To be honest, I don't think much has changed for me to be putting out crazy predictions like that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely understandable. So let's move on to the constructors. So as you can see, I asked the customers to name the top 5 constructors for this year, and we've got a few interesting sorts of orders and picks, but nothing too mad. But Chris, I'm gonna come to you. You are one of the few people who said Mick will become constructors champions again. Now, after of course finishing abysmal 3rd last season, what makes you think they're going to make the big leap to 1st? And also, you put Red Bull 3rd as well. So, if you can explain both points why you think they're basically going to swap places, if you will.
How I have it is, if the car is competitive, they have the best driver lineup, as in 1 and 2. So, I will say this: the gap between Lewis and George is the smallest out of the top 3 teams, and Lewis and George are not going to be smashing into each other. I don't believe, at least this year, they won't smash into each other. So it won't be a problem of them taking points off away from each other. It's a case of they know what to do. They know that if they have a car that's competitive enough, they will back each other and be close to one another. I put Red Bull third because I don't think Perez is that guy. Everyone knows I don't think Perez is that guy. He finished third last season, and when in reality, that's an easy 1-2. You know, your teammates winning 15 races. The fact that you're not finishing second in the championship at least is quite shocking. And I don't think Red Bull have ever like they don't really win constructors like that. Like whenever it's tight for the drivers' championship, they don't really win constructors like that. Like I think they may have done it maybe once or twice, but yeah, I don't really rate them. So I don't really rate Perez. I don't think he's that guy, and I think he's the weakest out of the top 6. So with Ferrari, I think this season side's going to be a lot better. So I think it's just a case of Ferrari will be Ferrari and keep P2. Mercedes with the best driver lineup, if their car is good enough, and they have, and even if some things don't work, they have backup plans already in place. Like Toto said, they have backup plans in place, so they could just install side pods on the car and change it to a complete different philosophy if needed. So I have faith in Mercedes, in their drivers to deliver the first in the constructors.
Cool. Kwame, I'm gonna come to you on this, but I'm not gonna come to you for your predictions because I'm actually gonna ask you on someone else's predictions, and that is none other than Mahad. As Nathan's highlighted to me, he's not only put Ferrari first, but he's also put Haas in fifth, which is quite interesting. So, Kwame, you're someone who has a bit of stock in who's his face, Hulkenberg. So, can you maybe see an explanation or will where maybe Haas might finish fifth? Or do you think it's just a wild prediction?
It's definitely a very left field prediction. Definitely one, that is very, out there. I feel like his prediction, from his point of view, I feel like he thinks Ferrari are going to have that car and Ferrari are going to be that team. As we understand, Haas are using a lot of Ferrari parts. As well, I think about the lineup as well of Haas, they've got a very good experience pairing, midfield pairing in Hulkenberg and Magnussen, who you both know if in the right car and the right conditions, they can get up there. So essentially, I think he's thinking that Ferrari have cooked something up.
See, Chris knows exactly why.
I don't know. I feel like Ferrari is going to hit or miss this year. And
Chris knows exactly right. There's big hating going on. I can't even lie to you. I can see it clear as day. There's big hating going on.
Bruv, the Schumacher family leaves, and Haas are going to shoot up to top 5.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
And even the group chat say, I don't hate no more, bro. We see you, brother. It's in your predictions, bro.
I can't lie. I can't lie. Low key, I want to hate like that. I want to hate on that level because people know me. I don't rate Schumacher at all. But that's a bit of a wild shout. So I couldn't do that.
Nah, 100%.
See, I did that. That's why I said Martin not in my top 5.
Yeah, top 5's a bit mad. I can't lie to you, bro.
That's crazy.
Lie. Like, he's even said they'll beat McLaren, which is what actually kind of mad when you deep it.
Yeah,
like
and Alpine and Aston Martin and with them. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah, if that comes in, you know what? Fair enough, innit? Fair enough. But yeah, it's looking like a big myth still, I can't lie to you. But cool. Let's move on to the next question. And that is, will Lando Norris win a race? Now, everyone just said no, apart from me, Kwame, and Mahad. So conveniently, these two guys are here. Say why. It's only me. Say why. Which is quite convenient. So, because I'm the host, I'm really going to answer my own questions. But, Chris,
Richard. No, I'll ask you.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Richard. And
Richard, why do you think Lando's going to win a race this season?
Exactly.
Do you know what? I rate Lando winner. Like, even if I've not been like mad vocal about it because I'm not a fanboy, you get what I'm saying. But for me, because F1, maybe not last season, maybe previous season, because F1, you'll get that mad random race there where someone will just get a random podium, random win, I'm kind of thinking it'll happen again this season. Last season's not really the case because, Red Bull was on a mad thing or whatever. But, if you look at, let's say, like 2021, the way Ricardo won out of nowhere, and then Lando should have won in Sochi, blah blah blah. We know what happened next. I think a scenario like that might happen this year. To be fair, not out of pure pace, just out of a bit of luck, really and truly. Because I do think that car is going to be all right, but I feel like there'll be a weekend where like the top three might have a mare, and then Lando's there to capitalize. But even on that prediction, I was 50-50, but I wasn't gonna be sitting on the fence on that one. So I just said fuck it, let me just say yeah. And then when I was checking the results, everyone said Pittsburgh said no, apart from two of the man. Just thinking, right, no one's got faith in McLaren, boy. It's a bit peak, but yeah, it's one of them, isn't it?
You just threw a Hail Mary then.
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, I did. Why not, man? Go against the grain now.
Just chucked it.
Yeah, it's one of them. Do you get me? So, right. Tariq, I'm gonna come to you. Why do you think Lando's not going to win a race this year? Sorry.
He ain't it. He ain't it. He ain't it, man. Like, there's a couple other teams that. First of all, I think McLaren got like 5th best car on the grid. Like, you can see my predictions. You can see my constructors' predictions. I put them down as 5th because I think Alpine are going to be better. And if all goes well, maybe Aston Martin could, maybe Aston Martin could like push them as well. But I just think there's too many cars in front of them too many like cars and drivers in front of Lando for me to think, oh yeah, Lando could like get a win or something. You know what I mean? Like, I think obviously Red Bull, Ferrari, those 4 drivers, they go without question. They can win a race, and they probably will win a race. Then you look at Mercedes drivers. Those are the next 2 that are most likely to win a race, if not for the first 4. And then after that, I'm looking at Alpine, like Ocon and Gasly. They're probably more likely to win a race than Lando is. Even like, in the situation where they're trying to clean up after like other teams' messes or whatever, and the race goes crazy, I will be looking at Mercedes and Alpine as the 2 teams which have drivers that can win a podium instead of Lando. You know what I mean? So that's the way I see it. I don't think Lando's touching a win. He might touch a podium though, but I don't think he's touching a win.
No, yeah, I hear that. That makes sense. But yeah, let's move on to the next question, and that is: will Carlos Sainz win a race? Now, he won a race last year. And I also see he's got the extra 3 pole positions, funny enough. Just kind of gets forgotten about, even though I'm like, bro, was that like NFT or something? Do you get me? So most of the cast did say yes to this, but 2 people said no, and that is Nam and Ants. So, because I'm not here to ask them, I said I'll go to you, Chris. So you have got rid of your stocks in Ferrari, and you've shoved them into Kwame Alpine. Why do you think?
I'm a Ferrari fan. But I have no ratings for either of the drivers, so I don't really care until there's like a. I don't rate Ferrari. I don't rate the management. I don't rate the drivers. I'm just there as a legacy fan. So it's like the stock will forever be there, but it's like if it loses money, I don't care. Alpine is where my invested interest is in, for now at least.
Why? Because Zidane was there, yeah?
Yeah, man, them man were raving in Primax like me on a Friday night. That's sick.
Damn! They took your whole flow, King? Shit.
No, with all seriousness, because I think, you know what it is, yeah? You just pick a midfield team and have fun with them. Yeah? It's like an Alpine with a team. I think they're making good progress. And then now it's a bit more serious than it's been like the past couple of times where they've made progress. I can actually see what they've got cooking. So I trust in them now. So yeah.
2 serious drivers as well.
Yeah, exactly. They got 2 serious drivers. They gave Alonso hell. What's not to like?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so what's not to like, bro?
You got the engines on. You got the engines on fire. You've got
bro. They fixed the engines. They found the solution and they fixed the engines, brother. They've got a new water pump and everything. The engines are good. They've
You
gone
know
with an
them.
aggressive design. Alpine are cooking something.
We've got two twin turbo rocket launchers on the back of the car, man.
Yeah, man.
Look at it.
JDM exhausts and that, bro. Aftermarket parts. Shit is crazy, man.
Boy, I don't know how we got onto an Alpine segment talking about Carlos Sainz, but hey, here we are. This is the beauty of this fucking pod, isn't it?
We got to fill the time in it.
All I wanted to ask is why will Carlos Sainz win a race this year? That's all I want to ask. So,
Because
Chris,
he won one last year, and I think this year he's going to be better than he was last year. Although last year was like a top 10 worst race performance, that turns into a win. I think he got a lot better as the season progressed, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out and win a race. Like, he got 3 pole positions, like you said. Like, the qualifying gap to Leclerc is quite good, and I think him putting it together in the race will occur, especially if the Ferrari improves the way I think it will improve. So, yeah.
no, Nathan's a ticket. Nah, Nathan's a dickhead.
He's doing too much, man.
Right. Let's somehow move on to the next question. And I asked the cast members, who will finish last in the World Drivers' Championship? Now, this one was actually a trick question because you actually didn't have to name a full-time driver. You could have been super random and said someone like, I don't know, Stoffel Van Dorm or some shit like that, if he somehow gets a race. But because obviously last year, I think who officially finished last? I can't even remember.
Hulkenberg would.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, something like that anyway.
He was the only one without points. Latifi got 2 or 1 or something like that.
Yeah, he was the only one without points. That includes substitute drivers as well. So yeah, that was a bit of a trick question still, but everyone's picked a 4-time driver, understandable. So I'm gonna come back to you on this, Chris. You said Guan Yu Zhao, aka Prada Boy, is gonna finish last. Why? So why do you think Guan Yu Zhao was gonna finish last in the the Drivers' Championship?
I'm not gonna lie, this is pure manifestation of hate and wishing him out of the seat. Like, I see an out that's a Sauber seat that turns to an Audi seat. I see a certain young German doing up photo shoots for Mercedes. I want him in that seat. So I've manifested Zhao into last place and out of the sport.
Yeah. See, this is the exact reason. This is the exact reason I was hating on Alonso as well. Because I was like, bro, you're not old age pensioner like you. You should not be in that seat, bro. Give that shit to Gasly. And look, Gasly's now we're eating. Gasly have his eating. So I completely understand it, Chris. Honestly, I completely understand.
It does help that I don't really rate Zhao too highly, and I think Sauber this upcoming season are going to have a bit of a mixed season because we don't know how good they are and how good they're going to be in development. Because last year they started really well, but that's because their car was what you call it? Their car was okay. The car was good, but it was because it was light and everyone else was heavy. Then as others made development and they stopped developing, it looked really bad. Then they made some developments and improved a little bit, but it wasn't very good. So I reckon they'll be a lot closer to the back than anticipated. And also for JL, look, yeah, the hating works. Hating is what's got me onto this pod. Hating's what's, carried me. My agendas have been hitting. So I'm going to carry on hating.
Yeah. Now keep going, man. Hating makes the world go round, man. Keep going.
Yeah, that's true. That actually does too, sure.
And also, one thing I want to say, because I kind of like Logan Sargent a little bit. I think people just are seeing American driver and they don't really know him from junior formula, so they're not rating him at all. But the guy ran Piastri hella close in F3 and he drove well last season, so I don't think he's as bad as what people think he is. So I think he's a lot better. He's not like a Mazepin just here on your daddy's money. This is like talent making its way up to the top.
Yeah, nah. To be honest with you, because I put Sergeant last as well. It's not because I don't rate him, because I do. Because from what I've seen him from like F3, F2, blah blah blah, he does have something about him. But I just don't have faith in Williams. I just think that car's gonna be trash. So
Yeah.
that's just the basis of it. I think he'll even score points, but it's not really the case of he's gonna be like 12 or some shit like that. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's the only explanation for me. But Qualms, I'm coming to you, brother. You put Sergeant last. What is it for someone who is, likes to keep the eye on the junior categories and all shit like that, upcoming drivers? Why have you put Sergeant last?
Similar to you again. It's not like I hate Sergeant. It's not like I hate over Sergeant. I feel like he's a decent driver. My issue is more of on looking at what teams I think will be at the back this year. And for example, like I rate Sergeant over drivers like Zhao, for example. I don't think Sargent will be a role beater driver, but like the driver who was the best rookie last year in F2. When he was in F3, he was doing his last year in F3 was a bit of a buy year because he stayed in F3 because he didn't have the money in the first place to get up to F2. So again, show driver, he's even though his funding is a bit questionable, if you look into it, if links to like Trump or whatnot, he's actually a driver who comes from quote humble beginnings. And yeah, guy was a very very fast driver in F2. Again, I feel like towards the end the pressure was kind of getting to him. But listen, the pace is there, but I feel like my thing is more of the car. That Williams, listen, last year they were struggling a lot at the back. I feel like this year they'll be closer, but again, I think Haas are very hit and miss, but I think Haas will make a bit more progress. I feel like Avatar should not be where they are, and I feel like Alfa Romeo, Sabo will include a lot. They've got money coming in now, so Williams as a team, new principal now in James Vowles, I don't know where they're gonna go, and because of that reason, I hate to be him. I really hate to be him. I put Sargent last, but listen, it'll be a learning curve. George Russell did 3 years, in that boat team. I'm not comparing to George, but you need that ground nose on driver, man, to build yourself up. Look, where's George now? So, the ceiling is high for Sargent, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's the car and not him, I'm afraid. That's what we're going to put in there.
So basically, James Constant ain't shit. Right, got it, Kwame.
Yeah.
Thanks. So cool. Let's move on to the next question. And that is, will a non-Mercedes, Red Bull, or Ferrari get a podium? And everyone said a resounding yes. So of course, last season, Lando Norris was the only non-top 3 driver, top 3 constructors, person, whatever you want to call it, to get a podium. I think he got it in Imola last year. So everyone's said a resounding yes. So Tariq, I'm gonna come to you on this. What is your reasons for deciding that basically like Alpine or McLaren or someone else apart from the top 3 will get a podium this year?
I've just got faith in certain other teams. I think I'm looking more specific at like Alpine, because Ocon, we know he's got the ability to win a race. Gasly, we know he's got the ability to win a race. Even like Norris, even though before I said Norris isn't going to win a race, there's a possibility that he could, even though I don't think so. So that coupled with the fact that there's probably going to be certain races throughout the season where it's just going to be hectic and really unpredictable, I am looking at like Alpine getting at least one race win, to be honest. That's pretty much it. I don't know about any other team, but man said even cheeky Lance Stroll, bro. That's on you, man. That's on you, man. That's not on me, but yeah, I'm mainly looking at Alpine though.
Ooh, one race win, yeah? Interesting.
At least one.
Okay.
I can do it. At least one.
Yeah, they're both race winners, so I heard it. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Chris, what's your reasons that a non-Mercedes, Red Bull, or Ferrari will get a podium this year?
There's bound to be one smelly race when all 3 of those teams mess up. Last year it was Imola. this year there'll be another one, and especially as the grid gets a lot closer, I think definitely. I see an Alpine, I see Lance Stroll, I can see one of the McLaren boys, even both of them just grabbing a cheeky podium. So I'm sure there'll be one race of like chaos where someone will pick up the podium.
Right, okay. Cool. Let's move on to the next question. And that is, will Merck win 3 or more races this year? Now, if I was to ask this question last year, people would look at me crazy saying, Richard, what are you talking about? But as we know, Merck only won one race last year. Probably should have won more, but you don't need to go into the context of that. So everyone apart from surprise Anik said no. So, Kwame, I'm going to come to you on this. Why do you think Mercedes will win 3 or more races this year?
Like I said, I think this year the grid will be much more closer. I believe this happens in reg changes where obviously the first year you have 1 or 2 teams that just bomb it out with them clocking the strategy, i.e. Red Bull. Shout out Adrian. Now we have gone into this season here onto our second season. Teams that finally have clocked out the errors. They finally clocked out what important happening or not. They finally clocked the ground effects era that we're in, and these are stepping up. So I feel like we'll slowly get, like we saw towards the end of last year, we saw how Mercedes again, they sorted out their posting issues. They were making much more cars. They were tinkering on less more. Charles Lewis did his bit, tinkering on the car at the beginning bit. You had him, Russell, going to doing a lot more testing in simulator more, and I feel like that helped. And like I said, that pace towards the end of the year, that consistency, I feel like they're on the right steps and they know what they need to do their car now. At the beginning, it's kind of just vibes in what to do. And I feel like they'll keep that up. And getting a few more points as the whole team, as the 2 drivers like coming out. Like even last year, like yes, they only got 1 win, but they were thereabouts with getting podium. So I think that's more than capable. So I'm not surprised that everyone but one person said yes to that.
Yeah, cool. Let's move on to the next question. And this is where it starts to get a bit more interesting. And I asked the cast, will Danny Ricciardo start a Grand Prix next season? Basically on a Sunday, obviously no practice sessions, not like that. And everyone actually said no, apart from one person, and that is Tariq. You said yes. So Tariq, can you explain why you think Danny Ricciardo is going to start a race next season?
I don't know. I just think something's gonna happen, man. I just think something's gonna happen. I just feel it in my bones, man. I don't know, like some kind of thing is gonna happen. I don't know. There's not really much explanation to it other than because it's genuinely all up to chance. I'm actually surprised I'm the only one that said yes because I feel like other people might have said yes as well. But I feel like it's all up to chance. But I feel like there's a chance that one of either Max or I say more likely Perez. And I'm not saying that either one of them is gonna or Perez is gonna lose his seat or whatever, and then Ricardo's gonna take it. I just think more like something might happen where one of them can't race, they can't complete a weekend or whatever, and then Ricardo's just gonna step in. Basically, that's it. So, just vibes, bro. Just vibes.
I respect that. I respect that still.
No, but I'm probably surprised that no one else said yes. I mean, people were just. I don't know whether some of it is hate, because if it's hate, I can get on board with that because I don't like.
I think
he should be a NASCAR, but
I think Max will. If Max even caught COVID, he'll just still drive the car, bruv. I don't see him leaving the car even if he has COVID. So that's why I was like, you know what? Yeah, he's not starting a race. I think it'll be the one race he doesn't attend, and Lawson will drive the race if anything happens to a Red Bull driver.
John, this is the perfect segue to go on to you, Chris, because you said no. So, but simultaneously you're surrounding with hate Sergio Perez. So, are you basically telling me that you think Sergio Perez is going to do a good enough job to keep his seat this season?
Oh no, I think this is his last year at Red Bull. I think if the other team's as good as what they think they're gonna be, I think this is his last year in Red Bull. I think it was cool in 2021 because learning the team, learning the car, you got a race win, and you did a thing in Abu Dhabi, that godforsaken race. Last year it was fine. I got a couple of race wins, and the championship was, and Max was so far ahead, and Ferrari was so bad that it didn't affect Red Bull's money at all. This upcoming year, if he's the reason why they fail to get as high up in the constructors, like I think they will be, I think Marco will let him go. I think Marco will just be like, you know what, we've got to get rid. And
Bring in who though?
so this is the interesting thing. There's a reason why they hired Nick DeVries. It's a case of if Nick DeVries outperforms Yuki, they are putting him in that car next to Max and being, we are Dutch Red Bull Racing, and running with that. So I don't really see Perez lasting beyond this season. I don't see him lasting beyond this season. I don't see Guan Yu Zhao lasting beyond this season. And it's going to be interesting to see how Haas handled the Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hulkenberg thing. Because depending on how long certain man's contracts are, if things aren't working properly or one man is not showing levels, I can easily see one person getting replaced. So it's interesting. There's a couple of man on the chopping block still.
You know what? Yeah, this is actually the perfect segue for our next question. And I asked the cast members in a bit more detail than what you can see here. Will someone be sacked? And basically, for more context, is that includes demotions, yeah. That includes retirement. That includes obviously just getting straight up like sacked, basically. It also includes T principals as well. Team principals are drivers. I don't really care if the tea lady gets sacked. I don't really care if bloody the window cleaner gets sacked. I don't give a shit about all that. I care about like the main staff and personnel, if you will. If someone will get sacked or binned off or whatever. So most of the cast said yes, someone will get binned off, basically. However, I think 3 people said no. Sorry. And one of those people is actually Kwame. Kwame thinks everyone's going to keep their job this season. So, Kwame, can you explain to me why you think there's going to be no sackings, if you will, this season?
I feel like this year's it's going to be a bit more of a transitional year into next year. If you look at the teams, if you look at so McLaren, they've got a new principal. Williams got a new principal. Sauber, Alfa Romeo, new principal. Ferrari, new principal. That's 4 out of 10 teams. So pretty much nearly half the teams have really changed the principal. It doesn't make any sense in my head for them to be trigger happy with the principals. Like you brought them in, and then half season you've get rid of them already in your new project. You look at the other teams, Red Bull, Horner. He's been into the team started. He ain't going anywhere. Toto, man owns shares in that team. He ain't going nowhere. Alpine with Otmar, and we'll see. Maybe, but I don't see that happening either. Again, they've just came in as well, them too, so they're still kind of fresh with the roles. So again, I don't see any. And Alpine doing very well at the moment, so the structure there and moving up to grid. So I don't see that switch happening. AlphaTauri again, Franz Tost. He's been at team again since pretty much since started. So again, I don't see him leaving his own back. The only way I can see him possibly leaving.
As he throws up, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's this connection.
I'm back. The only way I see it is through retirement or man, mutual consent. Haas again, Günther. But it's Günther's team literally, man. Gene gives the money, and that I don't in my head see them and also F1 currently compared to previous years in terms of drivers, they haven't been as trigger happy to replace drivers. They seem to be more of a consistency they're trying to do. Especially look at teams like Red Bull and AlphaTauri in the past towards the days they were banging man left, right, and center, but now that hasn't happened in a while. So
I've got a quick
that's
question
my
for you,
point.
Kwame. You know, you talked about team principles. What about
Yeah,
Mike
that's my point.
Crack at Aston Martin? If they don't deliver, wouldn't you think he's on a shopping block?
He's another one as well who, again, I think is definitely on the firing line. You're not wrong. But again, similar to Otmar and Rossi, Mike Crack and Martin Whitmarsh as well now and CEO. So like them guys have to perform. If they don't, then yeah, I agree with you. But again, they're semi new to the role as well. It's only been a season or two, so I don't see it personally, like just yet.
Right, cool. Let's move on to the next question, and that is: will a driver fail to complete the whole calendar? So, for example, Vettel didn't complete the whole calendar because he missed the first 2 races. So, most of the cast said yes, and a few people said no. So, one of those people to say no. Actually, we'll go into the yes. Actually, I will come to you, Chris. Because you said a driver will fail to complete the calendar. What's your reasons for this?
I think someone will catch COVID or something. Someone will just catch COVID, have a stomach ache, something random. Like, I don't know what. It's just something random will come up, and that's what's needed. So I think just one person will catch something, and then they'll just be out for a race. Like we had Lando finishing races with tonsillitis last season. I think if another driver does it, they might just sack it in and be like, "I'm not bothered to do this. I'm gonna take my day off and come back next week when I'm 100%." So yeah, I just think not everyone will finish every race. I think it's going to be a bit more normal to see drivers miss races these days.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, all right? Yeah, I won't be surprised if no driver gets COVID, to be honest with you. But yeah, Tariq, why did you sorry, what did you say? You said yes as well, didn't you? Yeah, so what's your reasons for you thinking that a driver's going to fail to complete the calendar this season?
Pretty much similar reasons as like Chris. And also for like some of the reasons that I put down for like Ricardo starting the race as well. I just feel like something happens the same way that we like assume that some race is gonna go wrong, and we're gonna get some unexpected winner. I just think some things gonna happen where a driver just isn't gonna be able to do the weekend or whatever, or something like that. It's kind of just like predictions and things like that. Really, there's not much kind of analysis into it. But yeah, it's like you just see it from previous seasons. I think pretty much a lot of the seasons from before as well have had something where a driver just hasn't been able to complete a calendar or hasn't been able to do a race. So I'm just expecting that trend to continue, basically.
Right. Okay. Cool. Let's move on to the next question, and that is first-time pole sitter. So, a number of people, so of course, said yes. I think about half the people said yes, and the half said no. So, Chris, I'm gonna come back to you on this, as you said that there won't be another first-time pole sitter, like we did get with Sergio Perez, Kevin Magnussen. I think 2 other drivers as well. I think maybe Lando Norris as well.
No,
What
it
remember
was
did you?
Perez, Magnussen, and Sainz, and Russell.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And it was 4 people. But yeah, Chris, you said there won't be a first-time pole sitter this year. Why is that?
I don't think the Alpine, McLaren, Aston Martin will be. So the Alpine for sure. If McLaren are going to get a pole, Lando already has a pole. And if Aston Martin, if they're good enough to get pole positions, Stroll and Alonso both have pole positions. So I don't reckon Alpine is good enough to get a pole position just yet. I think they're more likely to fluke a race win than they are to fluke a pole position.
Yeah.
No, I agree still.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, Tariq, you also said no. What are your reasons for this?
No, to a first-time poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, similar reasons to Chris actually. Plenty of the let's say top drivers on the grid are ones that have got plenty of poles anyway, and you know, so I just think, yeah, there's just certain drivers where it's just going to be like really, really, really difficult for them to get a pole, and because of that, I just don't think it's going to be likely. I'm talking about the ones that haven't already, got poles before. So, yeah, I think the races is where a lot more, kind of outlandish stuff can happen, I guess, in regards to results or whatever. But I think usually with qualifying and stuff like that, it doesn't go as crazy as most people think, unless there's wet conditions or whatever, and when there's wet conditions, Stroll magically finds a way to get himself to P2, P3, whatever. But that's pretty much it, you know what I mean? So
No, yeah, I agree, definitely. So, moving to the next question, and that is, will we see a substitute driver this season? So, of course, we've seen Hulkenberg step in. We've seen, of course, Nick de Vries step in, who's now got a full-time race seat. So, Kwame, if your internet is all Gucci, you've also said that there will be no substitute driver this season. Why do you think no one's going to step in this season? It's not there, is it? Mad. Chris, I'm going to go back to you on this one. You said, yeah, there will be. So is that on your reasons because you just think someone's going to get COVID?
Yeah, I think someone's gonna be ill. Like, if Aston Martin aren't good, Alonso might pack it in for a weekend and say, "Let me go race sports cars." You know, it could
send
be
me to Le
any
Mans.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like, "Yo, Aston, are we doing a Le Mans thing? Let me go race over there this weekend." Just like,
Moving like Neymar whenever his sister's birthday comes on. Just like,
yeah,
sorry,
quick trip to Brazil, bro. Look,
I have to
Neymar got
go, man.
injured
Sorry, I
today.
can't do it.
Yeah, but generally, that's what it is. It's a case of, I think someone's just will get ill or something. I just don't see, especially because the calendar's so long with 23 races spread across how many other months. They're not all going to be in perfect shape the entire time. Someone's gonna get caught out at some point. So I think a sub driver will come in and have a race, have them over in the sun, and enjoy.
Yeah, cool. I think I agree with that as well anyway. So let's move on to the next question. And I know some people got upset with this one. And that is, will Nick de Vries score more points than Yuki Tsunoda?
No,
So,
we skipped one, the max one.
sorry, yeah. Sorry, there's a lot of data on there. That is circle back. I asked the cast, will Max achieve 50 career race wins this season? Because I think he's currently on 35 or something like that.
Yeah, it's on
this
35.
season. Yeah. So him getting under the 15 like he did last season, that's not unrealistic, is it? So,
Yeah.
a lot of people actually said no, funny enough. Well, quite a few people actually said yes, to be fair. So it's about half and half. So, Tariq, I'm going to come to you on this one. You was one of the people who said yes, that he will get 50 race wins this season, career race wins. What's your reasons for this?
I mean, 15 race wins for Max is very manageable this season, especially if he's at the point where he needs to, where he's challenging for the championship or whatever, and he's trying to get his third in a row or whatever. I feel like for him, it's gonna be I need to get my 3 in a row. I'm gonna pull out all the stops. I'm gonna make sure I get my wins, and on the course to that, he's gonna get himself his 50 wins. And it's painful. It's painful. I get it, because I definitely don't want to see him get any more wins than he's getting right now, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. It's just inevitable, man. It's just something that I just think it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree with you 400%, to be honest with you. yeah, I don't. I'll be shocked if he doesn't make 50 this season or more. But yeah, it's what it is.
I'll be
So-
shocked. I'll be shocked, but
Wait,
not
wait,
upset.
wait.
You know what I mean?
No. I'm not watching another Formula One season of Max Verstappen winning 15 races.
God forbid.
No way, bro.
God
I
forbid.
will quit with Marks, bruv. Me and Marks will quit together. Like, I'm quitting, bruv. I'm not doing it. I'm not
And
doing
Like,
that
it.
bro,
means,
it's gonna be bad enough seeing,
well.
see him win a repeat, let alone him win. Bro,
It's
anything
painful,
more than
man. It's bro.
12
It's so
races.
painful. It's so painful, man.
And also, yeah. Also, do you know what I find crazy? Kunle, Nam, and Catch all said that Lewis will win the championship, but they've all said that Max will win 15 races this season. The math is not I'm like, make up your mind, bro. Back your boy.
exactly.
What do you mean
People are
he's winning
confused.
50 races this season?
People are very
Hey.
confused.
This is the beauty of these questions, yeah. We've just managed to catch up 3 people. I didn't even click on. I was just too busy putting the data in. And boy, it's true. Man thinks he's gonna do what, like a Keke Rosberg or something, get a load of seconds in there, and just blag his way to the championship. But boy,
Some people voted on pure vibes, man. Pure vibes. They're not even
I think
considering.
you know what it is? They're thinking they're going to do a Michael Schumacher. You know when you get like bare race wins, yeah, but you get disqualified from the championship, so you just go to another man by default. Like I looked at it and I said, wait a minute, why is Kunle and Nam like, especially Nam is like the biggest hater of
Nam
Max.
is just nuts. Bro.
am I?
You know what? Yeah, I think what happened was that man probably didn't know how many races Max had, how many wins he had,
Oh,
because they can't have been.
Yeah, I think that's true.
They thought he had like 20 left. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, that's actually true. But yeah, that's the BCD predictions, isn't it? Maybe Max might win 15 races and Lewis Hamilton wins the championship. Hey, boy, it might go down as an all-time season still. Oh shit! But yeah, let's move on to the next question, and this is I know this question brought up a few people. Kwame, are we live? Are we live, Kwame?
We're live, bro. I'm begging my intervals back down, man. Hey,
are we live, Charlemagne? Are we live? Because I would have come to you on this one, and this is the question that goes as follows. And I asked the cast, will Nick DeVries score more points than Yuki Tsunoda? Now, I don't think that's an outrageous question, but I know some people probably do. So, I think it was about half and half in terms of no's and yeses, roughly. So, of course, one of the cast members, none other than Kwame, who has a lot of stock in there, Yuki, keeps saying buy the dippy and it's on the floor, but I don't know why you want to buy something that's on the floor, but hey, here we are. You said no. So, Kwame, why will Yuki Tsunoda score more points than Nick DeVries?
There's a big reason why I'm going all out this year of Yuki stock, because I know this is one of my last years left. I have to go all in. Listen, Fan Sources said I want this guy to be consistently getting to Q3s and consistently getting to P10s. Fan Source saying it. Fan Source is usually the cool one. That's usually Helmet saying it. So we know, I know, you know, he has to rise above it. I've got faith. Now, last year he was matching Gasly. Last year he was doing less of the radical stuff he was doing in the previous year. Still a bit too much, I can't lie, but it's getting there. I don't know this car will be this year, so I don't know what happened with that. But DeVries, I feel like he's an okay driver. He's never really like, oh wow, Nick. Nah, I want to see Nick. I always feel like he's consistent. A better version of Zhao, in the sense that he won't bin it. He'll stay where he is, and he'll get the points, and he'll do like the minimum, what's needed for the team in it. But like, I feel like Yuki is a driver who can. He's inconsistent in it. That's what he's inconsistent. But I feel like he can rise above it. There are certain days to get points in position where he shouldn't be, and I've got faith, man. I've got faith. This is the year, man. My boy pulls through. I put too much stock, too much time. I mean, too loud. I have to come with some sort of investment back with this, something back, and yeah, man. My thing is, I don't need the reason it anyways. So even if it's any other driver in the grid, I always say the same thing. So yeah, I've got faith that Yuki will. He's been for 3 years. He's now the main driver of the team. He has to stand up. He has to rise above it and do his thing. So that's why I said no. You can't let a man come to your own house and take your own food, man.
Sky remote, Jollof, the whole shit, man. Take all the meat out the stew. Listen,
You
man.
can't let your guy take
Be
your
on the
tempura.
couch.
You can't let your guy take your nigiri. You can't let him do this to you, man.
It's true, man. It's true. There's a questions will be asked at the end of the season if De Vries does beat Sonoda, but hey, I'm gonna let the pot simmer for now. And yeah, is what it is. But Chris,
just
you
wait.
actually say what? Just wait for
No,
what?
you're cutting on to me. Yeah, you introduce me. I'll cook from
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Because you're one of the people who said yes. Because I also said yeah. But I haven't got an agenda. I just don't think he's all that. To be fair. So Chris, why will Nick De Vries beat Sonoda on points this season?
Because Yuki's not that guy. He's not that guy. He's got a bit of a bozo gene in him. Like there's good talent there, but he won't put it all together. He's not a Formula One driver per se. Like he's rise to the top was cool, but he's not that guy. And it's time for Kwame and Mahad and Marks to feel my pain, bruv. You know when your boy comes in the sport and has been sent to the packing, it's time to feel my pain, bruv. That pain, you need to feel it too. But I also think they're underestimating Nick De Vries. It's not to say Nick De Vries is an amazing driver, but he's a solid pair of hands, and I think he will get those P10s. I think Yuki will get like a P6, P5, and an amazing drive, but he will also have a bozo when he crashes out the pit lane again. Whereas De Vries will get a couple more points finishings just in those P9s and in those crazy races. So,
but you don't think you don't think that Tsunoda's got more experience and should then or will probably be more consistent than De Vries, at least for this season.
that would be the
Because
case.
that's why I put him down as like getting more points than De Vries, because I thought he's gonna be more consistent, he's got more experience. I think that's what's gonna carry him forward with that, and he'll eventually get more points than that. And I don't think the talent difference is too huge for me to go, oh, De Vries is definitely going to get more points than.
See, that would normally be the case if Nick De Vries was a normal rookie, but because he's an experienced racing driver. He's Formula E world champion. He's been Formula E world champion. He was F2 champion how many years ago? Like, there's enough experience in there that I can say, you know what? I reckon he's got enough in him to be quite consistent from the jump. He's quite a low ceiling, high floor kind of driver, whereas Yuki's the complete opposite, where he's a low floor, high ceiling. And I think it's gonna pan out one way for AlphaTauri, especially if they're doing bozo things. I think Nick De Vries will naturally be able to handle the bozo gene of AlphaTauri better than Yuki Tsunoda will, especially with the pressure being on Yuki as well.
Oh,
And
okay.
we don't know if he's got that dog in him. Like he's a very nice guy. He's a very good kid. Like I won't fault him, but like, do you have that dog when it really gets cooking? When these men are out for blood, are you gonna rise it? I can't say he will. And then that's where I think De Vries will just naturally just go and be the number one guy. Look, I can easily see Nick De Vries end up in Red Bull next season. I could see AlphaTauri having a completely different lineup in like like Isaac Hadjar and Awasa or something, or Zay Maloney and Awasa. I could see it very easy AlphaTauri having a completely new driver lineup. And I see part of that being his De Vries outputting Sonoda.
Wait, Zay Maloney's
So what
not only
happens
from
if-
Barbados, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's signed to
yeah.
Red Bull now, so he's in the mix. There's Bear.
So what happens
Don't
if
want him into the future. Sorry, to go on.
No, I just want to say, what happens if Yuki is the one to like push on now, and they start considering him for that seat?
Depends on how well he does. So if he cooks and does an amazing job, yeah, he will definitely can easily go into the Red Bull seat.
Okay, but how good?
does,
Okay, how good of a job does Yuki need to do compared to how good of a job that Nick needs to do for Red Bull to go, oh, okay, we're going to take him over you, or you over him, or something like that?
So Yuki needs to smash De Vries. He needs to beat man comfortably. And that's the thing where everyone knows he has to beat man comfortably. He's like he's on some of the highest pressure out of everyone. It's time to put it all together. Whereas De Vries, there's no real pressure because unless he's thinking out the joint, it's more of a case of if you start a bit behind Yuki, but you close the gap, it's like, cool. Yuki's a competent pair of hands. He might have just finally put it together. Whereas Yuki needs to go out there and beat man badly.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite way. I think it's actually the opposite. I feel like Yuki, with the lack of experience that Yuki has, well, I don't say lack of experience. I'll say with how old Yuki is, and he's pretty young. If he goes out and he is just beating Nick, or he's like a step ahead of him, then I think he's done really well for himself. But if Nick DeLingard, 28-year-old rookie, coming into the season, coming in having his rookie season, and he's not able to smash Yuki, then side eye. You know what I mean? Side eye. Like I can't really like respect you after that. You know what I mean? Because you've had mad experience in other races, other formats and stuff like that. Like if you're finally getting your chance, you need to come in here, you need to smash this random kid that they got from flipping Okinawa or whatever. You need to smash him up. You know what I mean? Like, but Yuki just needs to do his job, I feel like.
So the problem is, if that happens, we're treating Yuki. If Nick DeVries smashes Yuki, we're treating Yuki like we treated Latifi. That's the standard. Because Nick DeVries went in that Williams and smashed man.
Nah, let's not say this, man.
Brother, the evidence has been. The evidence is there.
But what we're not talking about is the fact that Yuki's got Honda behind him as well.
There's a Wassers there. A Wassers in F2.
Why not both? Why not both of them? If you can have one, you get
exactly.
Because the only way that I see both of them being there is if a Wasser cooks in F2, Yuki cooks in F1, but Sergio Perez also cooks. There's no way all of them man are cooking. Someone's gonna be out of the job.
Oh, Perez.
Who's gonna be in the food? Basically, who will it be? Found the next time on Dragon Ball Z.
That's a
good bro.
But yeah, anyways, enough about hyping of a mid.
Yeah, we gotta get to the juicy stuff.
Yeah, and enough about hyping of a mid. Let's move to the juicy questions. And the next question is, I asked the cast, will Alonso score a podium this season? Most of the cast said yes. Some of the cast said no. So, Chris, I'm gonna cycle back on you on this. Why, apart from your being an obvious hater, which is understandable because I hate him too, but I've had to turn down my agenda for the political reasons. Why do you think Alonso will score a podium this season?
See, the normal answer is me being a hater, but I just don't like Aston Martin weren't even close last season, and I still feel that there'll be some teams ahead of Aston Martin in terms of grabbing a podium. I think they'll get closer, and the only way I see them grabbing a podium will be like in a wet race. But I also see Lance Stroll cooking. I think that'll be like the one weekend where Stroll is better than Alonso that season, where Stroll will pick up the podium and Alonso will finish fourth, but do a defensive job against whoever's behind, whoever is the top team that's behind. I think Alonso will do the sacrifice play because it's still the first season. He still has to be nice to Lance and the team. So I don't think
Alonso doing the sacrifice play.
Yeah, he did it with Ocon in the Alpine 2 years ago. He would do the sacrifice play in the first season. Like that's how you get them to like you and be on your side and be like, oh, look how amazing you are. The sacrifice play and all of this, that, and another, while building up to to be his real self. Like he'd be like, okay, I can stop being a gentleman now. I can be my real self.
Man said he's a nice guy.
He's a nice, those nice guys. You'd be like, oh, yeah, those are nice guys. No, I know that play, bruv. I know. I've read the rule book. I've seen this happen before.
No, go ahead.
No, I just don't think it'll be this season. I don't think this season he'll grab a podium. I think he would just fall short.
Nah, I just think they got like two they got two superpowers, like superpower drivers over there. Like Stroll, you put him in a rain, he just like it's like you gave him a sensory beam, like he's just gonna power up. And Alonso, he just finds a way, man. Like I hate him, bro. I hate him so much, but he just finds a way, like to just put in a great race. Like I can really see him sneaking a podium somehow, and I can really, if we get a wet race, which is very likely that we get a wet race, I can see Stroll doing something as well. So you know what I mean? Like the visions, bro. We just gotta come back to this, but I just get visions, bro. I saw the script. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes he's a bit inevitable in it. So you know what I mean.
yeah,
And plus, if with Dan Fallow's cooking a little something for me, you know what I mean. He might. Once besides Alonso does something, you know what I mean. It'll hit. It'll be like Chris in 2012. It'll hit me and it'll bring me joy at the same time. It'll be like I've won, but at what cost? Do you get what I'm saying? It's just like it's conflict of interest. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't care less about the cost, bro. That was still when Ferrari winning championships. Yes, I was like, oh yeah, Alonso didn't win, but I still got Raikkonen and Schumacher days. It's now I'm paying the price. I'm like, oh god damn! The last time they won a championship, I was in primary school. No, I just finished primary school.
Yeah, no, it's true. But cool, let's run through these questions so we can get to the most interesting one about them all. So, next question I asked is, will Hulkenberg get a podium? And this is a unanimous no. So, Kwame.
I really,
nah, that's it.
I really want to say yes. I was 50-50. I was like,
I knew you once. That's why I came to you, bro.
If there was a rain, if there's some sort of bad race will have to do crash out, they could, but that has is way too far down the grid for me to be like anything about you.
Even in a good car, Hulk wasn't cooking like that. So
here's the thing with Hulk. If with the podium, if he was going to get a podium, it would happen and I love the guy. It would happen by now because he's been in much more faster cars than the cars in now. That Force India, that Force India time cooking. Renault cooking. Not this has. I really don't know. So yeah, I had to be prideful and say no.
Yeah, man. Streets won't forget driver, innit?
Streets won't forget for sure. But yeah,
Streets won't forget, man.
True that. We don't forget that Paul in Interlagos all those years ago. Yeah, we won't forget that. But cool. Let's move on to the next question. Kwame, I'm going to stay on you, King, because has actually highlighted something interesting in the comments. And then you actually said that in terms of how many full safety cars will there be, you actually said there'd be 29, which is actually the most out of anyone, funny enough. So I'm actually going to have to fact check this if this is the most, if there's ever been 29 or more in F1 history, because I don't think there is. So Kwame,
yeah,
why have you said there'll be 29 full safety cars next season?
So when I checked in it, I checked to see last year's one in it. The stat I had was there was 25 full safety cars last year.
25? I don't know. I don't think there wasn't. Hang on. How many?
That's why I misread it.
Yeah. I did put it in capitals full safety cars. Yeah, I didn't. I did include the SC.
The website also says there was 25 safety car outings and 18 virtual safety car deployments. So 39 cautions during the whole last year.
No, there wasn't because only full safety cars.
That was the stat I had in it. So I was going on that.
But I don't know what bookie fucking. You're looking up, but I'm telling you, no, it wasn't that. Hang on, let me just look at this.
That was on Wikipedia, bro. What is that?
Anyways.
Oh my god. Right, hang on. I'll bring up. I've got the website right now. Was this? So there was 1 in Bahrain, 2 in Saudi Arabia, 3 in. There was another 2. Sorry. Let me start again. There was 1 in Bahrain, 1 in Saudi Arabia. There was 2 in Australia, 1 in Imola. No, sorry, 2 in Imola actually. Funny enough, 1 in Miami and then 1 in Brazil. So that's what, 8? Is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so it was 8 full safety cars last season. So I don't know where you're getting 25 from, but boy,
I'll put in the chat in it. I'll put in the chat. But yeah, I was going based off that in it. So hence why my numbers are a bit fugazi in it.
And also virtual safety cars, there was 2 in Australia. No, sorry, let's start again. There was 1 in Bahrain. There was 1 in Saudi Arabia. There was 2 in Australia. 1 in Miami, 1 in Brazil. So that's 13 in total. So, boy, I don't know where you're getting this 25 from, but it's not going to be sticky steel comms.
Looking back now, yeah, it does. But I was going by one source, and one source only. And that's always seen happen. Yeah, one of your, yeah. It is what it is.
Hey, Bob's thing, man. Hey, I understand. You know what I mean? Bob's thing, man. You know what I mean? There's a couple of dangerous drivers on the grid, so you never know. It could happen. But cool. Let's move on to the next question, and that is most driver of the day awards. So, I think the most popular pick was Max, which is of no surprise. I was pretty sure he got 4 last year, which was the most. So, Tariq, I'm gonna come to you on this. Because you actually said Russell. So, why do you think George Russell will get the most driver of the day awards next year? Sorry, this year, sorry.
I can't lie. I was thinking in regards to like what position that Russell is gonna be in more time, like starting races and stuff like that. I think it's probably gonna be around like P5, P6, P4 if he's lucky and stuff like that. So I was thinking about how his race is gonna go in regards to like from a position like that, whether he's gonna have a lot of overtakes, whether he's able to like snatch a podium, stuff like that. So thinking about in that term, I was looking at Russell in regards to them like parameters or whatever, and I'm thinking, well, more often than not, he's gonna have like really good races. He's gonna overtake. He might be able to like sneak podiums and stuff like that, and because of that, I think he's probably gonna be able to get a couple driver of the days. I don't think Max is necessarily. I don't think the novelty of like voting for Max is still there anymore. I feel like it's at the point right now where people are like, yeah, Max is gonna win, so I'm not really gonna care to like vote for him that much anyway. I'm gonna look at the rest of the grid. Yeah, and to be honest, just the other drivers, I don't really see it in them. I'm looking at a driver that's more like just outside of like the podium spots or just below and seeing how far that they can go. And Russell is like one of the names that like pops out to me as well. Plus, English tax as well, you know what I mean? So that's why I just kind of think Russell is probably within a shout for that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Russell's the Millwall Formula One, bruv. No one likes that guy, bruv. It's only people like me.
No one likes Russell.
It's only sickos like me that like Russell. The rest of the world do not like that guy, bruv.
No,
they don't like the PR training and all of that stuff. And when he slapped Bottas on the head, that's when he became public enemy number 1.
But who likes Bottas, bro?
Nobody, but you know how it is.
Exactly.
They hate
so
the
if
English
I slap
more.
Bottas and nobody likes Bottas, then what? People are suddenly not gonna like me.
Pretty much.
Hey, listen, anyone who's coming across Hamilton,
come on, man.
In general, I can't like, they ain't like. So Russell should play to the middle card, I think.
And I don't see how people are saying like Hamilton's even more hated than Russell, though. Even more hated. So I don't even know how people are saying that he's gonna get most driver of the days. I can see why people say Max will get most driver of the days, even though I personally don't think so. But people talking about Hamilton and that. Nah, man. I think Russell genuinely he's within a shout. Leclerc, I guess, is a shout as well, but I didn't go.
To be honest, I think Rafa might have cooked with the Alonso one. If Aston Martin cook, the Alonso hive, Cole Alonso will cook the votes and get him some driver for the days.
That's a shout, actually. Yeah, that's a shout.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, it's funny, because obviously the whole of Spain is now on the Aston Martin side of Twitter. So I'm just getting bare Spanish Aston Martin Twitter accounts, just spilling the tea and like Fucking, you got your Samuel Rodriguez tweeting about fucking, oh yeah, the cars, they found like 4 temps in Spanish. I'm thinking, Google Translate's not even available. I'm like, and you have to go back to GCSE fucking Spanish to understand this shit.
Hey, them man are
Long
fun. Them
day
man
for
are
me,
fun
boy.
out of nowhere, though. Shout out yes to Martin fans, but
Yeah.
Boy.
Listen, it's a false image, man. It's a false image. That's the mine are not that serious, man.
Boy, you know that that Drake song over where it says, I know way too many people here right now.
Nah, that I didn't know
Shit,
right there.
that's shit.
Who the
Who
fuck
the
are
fuck are
y'all?
y'all?
Yeah.
That's me now on that side of Twitter. I'm like, who the fuck are y'all niggas?
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Boy, hey, it's mad. But cool. Let's move on to the next question. So I asked the cast, who will get the most penalty points? So the general consensus was actually Lance Stroll, which is very understandable because he loves to get in his terrorism bag, to be fair. So, Kwame, I'm going to come to you on this because you were one of the people who picked Lance Stroll. Why do you think Lance Stroll will get the most penalty points this season?
you know what? Originally, I've never been Lance's biggest fan, but I'm starting to actually like the guy. I feel like he's a driver who he's got that in him. He's got that dog in him. But issue with Lance, not all seriousness, he's in midfield, and he's a driver who doesn't like to check his mirrors in the sense that, which I feel like is why he's a good racing driver in the sense that he's very instinctive when he drives. So he'll just make a move without thinking, and it will cause a crash. You know, he will just do something rather than do something dumb. And you know how it is in midfield. I think it's going to be a close battle between the Aston Martins, between the Alpines, between the McLarens, and so forth, even between the Alfa Romeos as well. So I can see a lot of tangles in midfield happening and a lot of situations where Stroll is not thinking with his brain, not being calculated with his move, not being and just running on vibes and instincts, and him not checking the mirrors and him crashing into someone. Heck, we saw that last year, at literally at the end when he crashed into Vettel. Like, why crash your team before like that? Like, he just has a big boulder gene in him that causes stuff like this happen. Like, I like Stroll. I'm starting to like him because he's a reminiscent of a previous kind of driving style where drivers just kind of past the just pace and vibes, but it will lead into crashes and accidents. So that's why I voted him.
So you're saying you're a supporter of the terrorism that Lance Stroll does?
Not even a supporter, but I like chaos in it. I like, the terrorism and drama, man. F1's too nice now. It's too nice.
We all know why you like chaos, Kwame.
But I need something, to lighten up the mood, and that will. So
you're the sort of chaos you like. Yeah, the list is going down in a few weeks, but let me not say too much. Now I'm saying let me not talk too much. But let's move on to not the last questions. Let's move to the next question, and that is, who will get? Sorry, no, let's start again. What will be the points difference between Hamilton and Russell next season? Now, I asked this question last year, but I didn't say which way because of controversy. So I asked this question again, but rather than giving him a little target range, I just said guess the number straight. The closest person wins. So got some interesting points differences, shall we say here. Nam said 80 points, which is a bad thing. So them are hard to be fair. So they don't rate George, I guess. Whereas other people said 17 points. Rafa and Chris said 17 points. Ket said 12. I've said 50, which is not that close to be fair. So, Chris, as someone who has stock in both drivers, you said there'll be 17 points between Hamilton and Russell. Why do you think that'll be the case?
I think some of the bad luck that Lewis received last year will balance out, and I think he'll probably just with the couple of race wins and his favor will average about 17 points. It will be close enough that they'll be within contention with each other in the last race of the season. But I reckon about 17 points is a healthy amount of points. 80 is insane. That is Russell got washed.
Yeah.
Especially if considering the fact that in Mahaz's case, Lewis doesn't even win the championship. It's not that one Lewis steamrolls the championship. This is a big gap when the gap between the two of them isn't that large. And I reckon that this season, I think it'll be close. I think Russell will get better. So Lewis is still better, but Russell will get better. So it's one where the gap won't swing too crazily. So I reckon it'll be tight. It'll be tight.
No, that's understandable. To be fair with me, I just put 50 just because, not because say I don't rate George or anything, just because I think, he might cook him a bit, but not like absolutely blow him out the water. Because I think last season there was like 60 odd points between them, to be fair. But obviously there's context to that and blah, 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 sorts of things. So, yeah, that's understandable, 17 points. Yeah, that means, I guess, if he does win the championship, Russell will probably be second, I guess, maybe. Or at least in the fight, but... Cool. Let's move on to the next question. And I asked the cast, what will be the points difference between Piastri and Norris for next season? Nam went big again. He said 100 points. That's a fucking lot, I can't lie. I don't even know if Lando even done that on Daddy Rick last year. I think he did last year, but the year before, I don't think he did, no. Because obviously he got that
did
figure
last
race.
year, the year before.
Yeah, because he got the figure he's racing, no. So other people said like 10 points, 27. I said 25. So, Tariq, I'm going to come to you on this. You said 39 points, which I don't think is that really crazy of a gap, to be fair, depending on which way, who gets the 39-point lead on the other one. So, what is your reason for this, exactly?
The number itself, I can't lie, it was just like a random number. I had the idea in my head was just basically like, I don't think the difference is going to be too big between them. I think Norris, even though like, yeah, it's weird because I think obviously Norris is at definitely at a higher stage than Piastri is. But at the same time, I don't know. I just have like a feeling where I don't think the performances are going to be too different. And I don't think the race results are going to be too different either. Although I do think that, spoiler alert, I think Norris is going to be ahead of Piastri. But yeah, I don't think the point difference is going to be that big. I think it also plays into the fact that I think the race field is going to be a lot more compact this season. I feel like we're going to have teams that are a lot more, well, I'll say drivers and cars that are a lot more similar in speed, I guess, or close together in speed more than similar. So I don't think that points differences are going to be that big this season between drivers. But I think Norris will still definitely be ahead of Piastri.
Cool. So let's move on to the penultimate question. And I asked the cast, what will be the points difference between Ocon and Gasly? So, Kwame, if you are active, if your Wi-Fi is popping off,
I'm always active, man.
Let's keep it PG, yeah. Let's keep it PG, yeah.
Chill, bro.
This is a family. It's a family pod, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Let's see what's your qualms, yeah. But yeah, you're someone who's started speaking French now, taking French lessons. Duolingo merchants, the Duolingo deviants. Yeah, that's what you are now. But
Yo.
Hey, what's French for milk, bro?
Yeah. Do lait. Don't ask me how I know that, but do lait.
No. I don't need to ask you how you know that. We know how you know that. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure. That's it.
What's a Lele? Yes, say not oral. So, Kwame, you're someone who has stock in the French team, Alpine.
Both of them.
So you said, yeah, but both of them drones. Yeah, I know you're not. So you said there'll be 6 points difference between Ocon and Gasly. So what is your reasons for this? And also, who will be 6 points ahead?
If you look back into our previous pod, not even previous pod, sorry, last pod I was on, where the Alpine review, where yes, I put my hands up. I did, blundered them stocks. I did. Okay, I was angry and annoyed by last year, but I've calmed down, and we'll look again next year. This year will be our year. So, and that pod, that's where I said that. So listen back to that pod to think who I think better, Gasly or Ocon. I'm not saying it right now. I feel like though it'd be very close between them two. I feel like both drivers they're yin and yang to one another, man. And I feel like we've seen it before happen in the past where Ocon and Alonso are very close, and I thought it could still be one of the same as well. A lot of times Alpine were kind of best of the rest, so they're in their own field anyways. I don't see both drivers being in it or doing anything kamikaze put up and crash. So I feel like there'll be a lot of fifth and sixth between each other, and I feel like they'll into the swap between one another depending on their strategy. So that's the reason why I'm going for as low as 6, because I think the car will be out there doing our thing. We always run our own races, and we always do our thing. We run our own races. And again, Ocon will be consistent. Gasly, I feel like be consistent in this car as well.
Cool. Now let's move on to the last question, and the most interesting question of all. So, and that is controversial opinion. So, there was quite a few some people understood the assignment, let's say, in terms of controversial opinions, if you will. So, I'm gonna come to everyone's own opinion, if you will, and I'll start off with you, Chris, because basically what it was, some people wanted to give 2 opinions because niggas can't read sometimes. So I allowed it, but I said only on the basis that one can't work without the other in order to score points. So this is kind of like a double jeopardy situation. So, Chris, I'm coming to you. You said as follows: Ocon to score more points than Perez, and Stroll to get more points than Alonso. So, would you like to break down your reasoning for these controversial opinions, please?
I'm putting all my stock in Alpine making a good car. I'm putting stock in Red Bull's advantage being quite reduced as everyone plays catch up. I think this season, so after a big rule change, let's say after 2009, there was the first year there was a gap, and then 2010, the field closed up quite a lot. The same way, even in the last rule change, the field did close up quite a lot. I think there's room for a driver to have a stinker. And I'm thinking it's Perez this time around, especially if the car continues to work in Max's setup range in his favor. And I think Alpine are cooking something. They've been very aggressive with their car this year. Like last year, they went quite conservative and all the upgrades had worked. This year, I think it's good they've been aggressive, and I have faith in them cooking up something, and that the gap between the teams will get a lot smaller. And then for the second one, I think Stroll will luck into a podium before Alonso will, and I think you'll get that one podium for Aston Martin. I think Aston Martin are going to get one podium, and it'll be Stroll that gets it in a weird way, because that's how Stroll gets his podiums. It's not like he forms a masterclass; he just ends up on the podium because the race is a bit crazy. And I think that will be another case of that this time around. Whereas Alonso will put up a valiant drive and just fall short somewhere.
No, yeah, I agree. Don't say a lot of Stroll's podiums happen in very weird circumstances. If you take, for example, like Sakir 2020, I can't even think of his other ones to be fair. These are quite a few weird ones to be honest.
Sakir 2020, Monza 2020.
Oh yeah.
His first one in Baku 2017. It's all weird.
Yeah, it's all weird. It's all Bob's thing, but listen, I respect it still. I respect it. So, Tariq, I'm coming to you on your prediction. You said Gasly will get the most best of the rest podiums. So basically, not including, of course, Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari, he'll get the most podiums out of the rest of the grid. So, what is your reason for this take then?
Basically, I think Alpine are the best team that's not the top 3. And out of him, Ocon, Gasly, Ocon, Norris, I meant to say, and maybe like some of the Aston Martin drivers, I think Gasly's just gonna get more podiums, and then basically, I just think he's the best driver out of all of them. So I'm not dumb enough to think that he's gonna, like, be competing for podiums every single race, and I'd hope so, but I don't think he is, purely because I think some of the cars are just too strong. But yeah, I think considering all the other teams, all the other drivers that we got, he's better than them. So light work for us, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Cool. I hear that. And Kwame, last but not least, you said Nick DeVries and Zhao Guanyu will be set at the end of the season. So what's your reason for this?
I was the one going to hate. I can't lie. I was the one going to hate. If you know me, I've got agendas for both drivers. And listen, after all the success of, taking down Geohive, last year I was too positive. I think last year I put a Yuki podium. I'm like, I want to go on hate this year. I can't lie. I'll start with Zhao because that was my original one. I feel like, with Audi now, taking over Sauber, one of him or Bottas have got to go. Let's keep it true. That are not the level where Audi need to be. You have got, Albon, who, is a very good driver. You see what he did in the Williams last year. He was taking the place where it shouldn't be. He'd be looking for a move back up. You got Sainz or Leclerc. Both of them two are going to be battling out Ferrari. And, I don't think there's room for both of them. One of them two, in my opinion, could go down to Audi as well. I think Sainz probably. So, them two drivers, they're probably eyeing up that Audi seat. They see if they're in the Audi seat, that team will obviously have the money and capacity. The Sauber facility is very good. They've got their own wind tunnel in Hinwil in Switzerland that obviously was used by BMW and has been used by other teams as well. I feel like, Zhao, your time is up, bro. I have not been impressed with him. I know a lot of people like him, because he doesn't crash, doesn't bend it, but that's the bare minimum for a driver. Other than that, like I say, name me 3 things the guy's good at. Everyone starts when I say this question. So yeah, I'll be quick. So yeah, that's Zhao done. And the views, it's just me wanting Yuki pop. I can't lie. I said in the previous section about who was scoring points, Yuki or De Vries. So refer back to that.
Cool.
It's crazy how me and Kwame last year did prop for our drivers, so it didn't work, and then went straight to hating.
Yeah, hating makes the world go round, boy. Do you get what I'm saying? Hating makes the world go round.
I can't lie. You know what's funny? Yeah, I've been, obviously people know me, Gasly Hive. Yeah, last season was probably like one of our worst seasons ever since the Red Bull fiasco or whatever. And funny enough, we still came out on top. You know what I mean? So, boy, I can't understand how you lot are feeling, but we keep winning, bro. We're failing upwards. I can't lie.
We're failing upwards, so guilty.
We're failing upwards, bro.
Yeah, sometimes it gets like that. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. So that's all the questions done. For those of you who weren't aware, I purposely did 23 questions because of the year 2023. What's up the stakes a little, know what I mean? Because I only done 13 last year and there's a cash prize and blah, blah, blah. But cool. For all the audio listeners, the predictions will be up on Twitter in the next few days. Not straight away for obvious reasons. But cool. So now we're going to run through the liveries real quick. All I'm going to do is ask the cast members just for a rating each. We don't have to go into Y and X and Y and Z and all the explanation. No, if a livery's nice, a livery's nice, and it is what it is. So cool. So we'll go from kind of constructors order, I guess. So we'll start off with Williams. So Tariq, I'm gonna come to you. Just a quick rating out of 10 for the Williams livery.
I'm gonna give it a 5, a young 5. You know what I mean? It's not doing too much for me. I mean, it's just pretty blue. They've tried to add a couple I don't know, angular designs to it or whatever, to give it a different dimension or whatever. But for the most part, I just think the basic concept that they've got didn't really do it for me anyway. I feel like Alpine do the blue thing way better. So yeah, I don't know. This ain't really hitting it for me. And more time we ain't gonna see it that much anyway because it's gonna be at the back of the grid. So no harm, no foul in it.
Cool.
Give it
Chris, quick rating for the Williams.
6.5 because I like the Duracell battery thing.
Cool. Quams.
I'm gonna give it a light to mid 6.
Cool. To be fair, I actually quite like that of you. To be fair, I think it's actually not too bad. So I'd
It's
say
not
about
bad at
maybe
all.
yeah, so maybe 7.5. Maybe the Duracell thing is pretty cool. To be fair, but yeah,
It's
that's
not bad. I just never
yeah,
thought I'd want to see sponsors in my car. Like I feel like that will cover up for a lot of the back of the car, but
cool. So let's move on to AlphaTauri. So we quick rating on 10.
Actually, I don't know. I'll be seeing mad hate on this one, which is kind of weird to me. I actually kind of like really like this. I'll give it like an 8, I think, or maybe like a 7.5. I like the red accents on it. And the original design with the AlphaTauri and that kind of like bluish color that they got, I really like anyway. So yeah, I'll give it a 7.5 rather than an 8. I think it looks nice, to be honest.
Cool. Chris?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 as well. I actually like the red. The red is a nice touch.
And Kwame?
I'm gonna give it 6.57. I say 7. Yeah. It's actually much better. This is like my second. The first one I saw it, I didn't like it, but now the second time looking at it again, I'm like, it's actually in the back off. And the red actually works. I think with white and blue. So yeah, I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, funny enough, the red I didn't like last year's, to be fair, but I've seen that they've changed like the blue this year as well, and the red kind of makes it pop a bit more. So yeah, I'd say about maybe 7.5, something like that. So bit small upgrade, but yeah, we move. So let's move on to Haas.
It's a 10.
Tariq?
It's a 10. Don't even say 9. It's a 10.
I know what.
Angels, Palm Angels ting. What? Diabolical drippings, cuz. Don't even play with me, man. Big drip out here, man.
Big drip.
Listen, next season I want to see Rick Owens Ferrari flipping whatever, man. Give me you know what I mean?
I want to see
like,
off-white Mercedes.
off-white
Give me that. Run that.
You know what I mean? Like fucking Givenchy Alpine, all them things there, bro. This is the start of something special, bro. The Palm Angels Haas, bro. This is diabolical drippings, bro. This shit is crazy, man. Have to give it a 10.
Brother. Yeah, I can't agree. I'll give it a 9 still. I'll give it a 9. But we all know why. We all know why. Drippy. You got me. But
drip,
Chris, what's your rating?
8. I like it. That's what I'm gonna say.
Straight up. No, we all know why. Kwame, what's your rating?
I'll give it an 8 as well.
Calm. Well, Palm Angels thing, yeah?
Palm Angels, bro. And the MoneyGram as well.
But I respect
it. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. And that is Alfa Romeo. Twizzy Rick, what's your rating?
I don't know. I'm gonna give this a 6. I think I said on Twitter as well. Like, I think the basically the whole thing, like the common theme in a lot of these like liveries as well is that there's significant parts of the car that they're not painting for like weight reasons and stuff like that. So I looked at this and my first thought was like, like the red on the back kind of needed to be faded in a little bit, and then I would have liked it more because it literally looks like it's just been stuck on there. But I mean, fam, it's like black and red with white accents. Like you really can't go wrong with that most of the time. So, but yeah, it doesn't really impress me that much, which is why I gave it a 6.
Cool. Chris?
I'm gonna give it 5. It will look nice in real life, but I'm just seeing it now. I'm just like, painting in black is just. I know Nam is killing me for this, but I can't. It's not inspiring, to be honest. No, that's not for me.
Yeah, Nam needs to hold up. And Kwame?
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 6. It's weird because this is opposite the AlphaTauri, where when I first delivery, I thought it's actually a nice car. When I'm looking now looking again in this photo, I'm just not. And I'm not gonna get to it, but quick thing, like Tariq said, it is interesting how a lot of teams this year are exposing of their carbon fiber on their cars for weight, which is an interesting factor that I think has impacted the liveries as well, with the amount of black we're seeing this year as well.
No, yeah. Do you know what? I'll give this a 7.5. Delivery's nice, but I think the exposed carbon is a bit too much. I think it needs to be painted in black, but we all know the reason why it's exposed carbon instead. But cool. Let's move on to Aston Martin. So Tariq, I know what your feelings are like on this, but let the viewers know. You get me?
Yeah, no, I really like this one. I really, really like this one. Turtleneck Nam was was saying some things about this, man. I wasn't respecting it, man. Like, this is really good, man. It's really, really good. Because last season they had this design that was very similar to this, but it had like the pink. I think, was it last season or was it the season before? I'm not entirely sure.
No, it was the season before, yeah.
Season before, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets confused on that. But they had the pink because of the BWT sponsorship or whatever.
Yeah.
And my whole thing from that time, I was like, if this had the official Aston Martin colors, which is what this is right now, it would look amazing, that livery back then. But then they've come back now and they've got that livery, which is very similar to the other one, but they've got the actual Aston Martin colors on it. And you can see how well it meshes in with the medium tires as well. And I just think this look is really, really good. Like, I don't know what I said before. I'll give it a 9, honestly. Like, this look is really, really good. And you don't get many green cars on the grid anyway. I don't think you have any. So this is really, really good for me.
Yeah. Chris?
8.5. Best Aston Martin. What Aston Martin do?
Yeah, you know the vibes. And Kwame?
I'll say 7.5. It's definitely a good car. I don't think you can get anything wrong with a green livery. Like, you really can't. Similar to like Ferrari is always red. You can't go wrong with a red livery. You can't go wrong with a green livery. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm not, without me being biased, I'm giving it a 10 in it. Listen, the lime green with the British racing green, listen, pops. I can't lie to you still. Yeah. I can't lie. But yeah, you already know the vibes. So cool. Let's move on to McLaren. So Tariq?
This is getting a 4, bro. I don't like this at all, bro. I don't like it at all. It's like people are confused with this. Like, this whole color scheme, everything is just confusing, man. I don't get it. Like, and it's not because of like the papaya orange and the blue color scheme that McLaren usually have, because they made it look nice before. But the way it's arranged here is just like, it's just ugly to me. Sorry. Like, so yeah, 4 for me. You're muted. You're muted, Rich.
Sorry, Chris.
I guess it was me. I was gonna say 5, to be honest. Needs more papaya on it. Like, the too much exposed carbon. It just doesn't look nice.
And Kwame?
I'm gonna give it a 5 as well. I feel like there's way too much going on with the sponsors. I mean, shout out to someone in his video on McLaren. I thought that go into deep detail about why they've placed their sponsors where they did. I feel like a lot of sponsors were in about where she's going. Looking at it now, it's just so confusing. So much one's going on. Like, I like the papaya, I like the whole orange thing, I like the orange and blue, but here there's like a strong like contrast between the two, and then the black as well. I think it's just like a bit too much like black as well. Like, essentially again with the exposed carbon fiber. Yeah, I'll give it a 5. It could be much better than this.
Yeah, you lot are being nice. This is one of the worst liveries of all time, bro. I can't lie to you, bro. This is 2-pack of ass. This is straight. This is 1.5 out of 10, bro. See, okay, you see,
down,
bro. Listen, honest.
down.
This don't even think people have got like. I don't want people to think like we've got some sort of like McLaren agenda. So I don't, because McLaren have some of the best liveries of all time in their rankings.
Exactly.
Yeah. See this thing, yeah, dead.
Yep.
You see, the blue and the blue and the orange, the way it's been constructed, it doesn't go together with the exposed carbon. You see the way the Gulf livery thing, the way they done that with like light blue as the primary color, and then with the orange, that worked. This thing doesn't work. So for me, sorry, it's dead. Where's it gonna go? I don't give a shit what.
No
what
number.
McLaren body wants to say, bro. Don't give a shit. But yeah, cool. Let's move on to Alpine. And move on to the pink livery. So, Tariq.
Sorry. What's the story with the with this livery again? Because I
Okay,
think what.
so because I'm a weirdo and actually watched that Alpine YouTube live thing. So basically, what it is, because obviously the BWT is the sponsor now. So of course they ran the pink livery for I think the first 2 races of last season. So this year they're going to do it for the first 3 races, and that's because something to do with BWT is like a plastic reducer thing, save water sponsor or something along them lines, basically. So they're running with the pink thing to sort of give more attention to BWT for the first 3 races of the season. Then they're going to move to the blue thing afterwards. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like the reason, basically. Kwame can tell us on another time, not now because it's running late. But yeah, yeah. What's your rating for the pink livery?
I like it. I mean, it's just like the other, pretty similar to the Racing Point ones, aren't they? Where it's just like full pink, and then you've got the logo, which is blue. And I've always liked the pink livery, so I'll give it like I'll give it a 7, I guess.
Cool, Chris.
8, I like the pink. They should get Mick Jenkins to wrap out the car, you know, say drink more water. That's BWT's thing, isn't it?
And that's the big Jenkins, you know.
Kwame.
Yeah, 8 as well. The pink is just it pops. The pink works over the blue. It's just, you know, bright, catches your eye, it does its thing. Give it 8. Can't go wrong with it. Can't go wrong with pink BWT livery, man. Shout out them Racing Point 14 days, man. Can't go wrong with it.
Cool. I'll give this a 7. I think it's alright. I think it's alright, to be fair. Yeah, the pink with the black. I think the exposed Carmen, depending on how you dress it up, doesn't really look that nice, but yeah, I think it's alright. So cool, let's move on to the other Alpine livery and their main one. So Tariq, what would you rank this?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it Carla, I'm gonna be a bit harsh. I'm gonna give it like a 5.5. I think the colors just clash too much. I can't lie to you. And what's annoying as well, I feel like, you know, them side pods over there. If the side pods weren't pink, if they were just blue, and then they had the wing, the wing of the back and the front, that was just like regular as it is, as you can see there, then yeah, I could push that up to like a 7.5 or something. But I don't know. It's just like the blue side, the pink side pods is just throwing me. Like I can't really do it. So yeah, 5.5.
Cool. Chris?
6, yeah. It's the side pod isn't doing it for me. And also Alpine, next time invite me to the rave, innit?
Yeah, true that. Imagine not inviting industry plan Chris to your rave. That's
Exactly,
crazy,
man.
Hella
This is the laugh of
disrespectful.
the party, man. Laugh of the party. No Kanye, bro.
I like you want to invite Zidane, but you can't invite Chris. Boy. But Kwame, what's your rankings, brother?
6.5. Similar to these guys said, the pink just doesn't work in my opinion with just like they have to either. I feel like they either have to go with the blue or go with the pink. I feel like trying to make the match between the two is just ain't it? Because the blue here is better than the Williams one, in my opinion. Like this royal blue, I like this blue, but it just clashes with the pink too much on the side part, especially with the carbon running through it. Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah, I think the service very hard fast, so I'm gonna have to give it a 4. Can't lie. Yeah, I think they should have made one of the, well, maybe the blue more prominent, but yeah, it's what it is. Cool. Let's move on to Red Bull. Tariq.
Yeah, I'm you know, 7, I guess. I think it's just like you're exhausted of it at this point. Like you know exactly what they're moving like Robin. You know what I mean? Cut inside and shoot. You know exactly what they're gonna do, but you can't stop it, bro. Like they pull it off every time. Like you know what? I'm gonna give it an 8. Actually, not even a 7. I'm gonna give it an 8 because it looked good flipping 10 years ago. It still looks good now. You know what I mean? Like I can't fault them for not changing anything. So Yeah, I respect it, man. It's iconic now, so I respect it.
Cool. Chris?
Non-applicable. Who cares? That no one really cares. It's the same thing. Let's move on, man. Let's move on, man. We've been putting it for a while. Let's move on, man.
Man said just refer to the other 5 times that I reviewed this, bro.
And Kwame?
5. Literally Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. Just copy and paste, man. That's all it is.
Nah, but the turn it in, bro. They beat the turn it in allegations, bro. They changed up a little bit. You know what I mean? They changed up a little bit, man. They can't hate.
You know what? Yeah, this livery actually looks better on these new generation cars than the old ones. So I can't lie, bro. And it is iconic, and it's not even a bad livery. It's actually a good livery, I feel. So I'll actually give it maybe 8.5, maybe a 9 if I'm pushing it. But yeah, that's just me, you know. So let's move on to Ferrari. Tariq?
I'm gonna give it. Boy, I'll give it a 7.5. I give it a 7.5. I mean, they pulled something on. They pulled something off. So, you know, I ain't gonna say it's bad, but like Ferrari, they just do their thing, you know. Because you know what, I'm gonna push it up to an 8 because I can't say that, you know, Red Bull doing their thing every single year, and you know, I mean, like I have to give them the same ratings. I can't lie to you, otherwise I'll be a hypocrite that way. So I respect it, and I like the wing as well, like the wing on the back as well with the old Ferrari logo. Shit looks amazing. So I respect it, bro. They did well.
Cool. Chris?
I'm gonna give it a 9. If it wasn't for that panel with the Sever sponsorship being in exposed carbon, that was just red as well, it'd have been a 10 out of 10 for me. But that car looks good, so give it a 9. Ferrari did their thing with limited resources. They did their thing.
Kwame?
I'm going to sound like a hypocrite because obviously we said about Red Bull, but fam, I don't care. This is F1 heritage. I'm giving it a 9 still. Like the scarlet red here, it's just elite, man. It's just too exquisite. And see the fades on the black onto the rear wing, and on the front wing as well. Just too class. But my issue is the server on the right. There's no need for the black there. But I do like the throwbacks to I do like the Shell logo. That's a throwback to their older cars. The Ferrari logo on the side and the Ferrari logo on the wing. I like that throwback. That little, you know, heritage. You know, that little, you know, throwback to the past. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Nah, man, that's flirting versus harassment, bro. Yeah, nah, I can't have that, man. I can't have that, man. You're I can't have that, man.
Right.
Bro, they both listen. It's both heritage, man. And they both got onto something good, and they knew that they didn't need to change it that much. They just needed to beat the turn-it-in allegations, and they needed to beat the plagiarism.
Hey, Ferrari will beat the allegations, man, because it's still red, but they change it up slightly, you know, every year.
But the other one is changed up more than this, though, ain't it? What's changed up more?
Look, it's in the same place as last year.
Come on, man. Nah, I can't have that. All right, what are you saying, Richard? What are you saying?
You know what? Yeah, the livery's lang in it, but it's not as lang as last year. I think there's a bit too much black on this car, like too much / exposed carbon. So you see, like with the Sever sponsor there next to the Shell logo, that doesn't need to be black. Where the number is, that doesn't need to be black. I do like the little red accents on the front end plates. To be fair, I do like that on the front wing. On the rear wing, it doesn't really work. The Ferrari logo, I'm going to be alone on this, but I actually don't like on the rear wing. I actually prefer that Velas logo from last year. I don't know why it just doesn't slap on the rear wing. I don't know why. Also, the Richard Mill, this black day when it should be red. Like, I'm being like super picky here. But yeah. I prefer last year's livery still. Even though people will say, oh, it's just black and red, but it's the little details that count in it. But I'll still give this one like a 8.5 maybe. maybe 8.75 to be pedantic, but it's still good livery. It's still good livery. So
Right.
last but not least, let's move on to the sexy gal.
Oof,
Tariq.
real bad B, you know what I mean?
Hey, listen, real bad B. Listen,
real bad B, man. Nah, I'm
listen.
have to. Man, I want to give it a 10, but like, you know what I mean? Like the palm Angeles has, you know what I mean? Like, hey, that was real drip, man. Like, I listen, the drip defeats all, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I can like really, fam. I might have to give it just like a 9.5. You know what I mean? Just to differentiate, you know what I mean? Because there's no, fam, even if they had a small Gucci on it, you know what I mean? Boy, I would have given this a 12, but the drip, it's just the drip ain't there. The looks is there, but the drip ain't there. You know what I mean? You see a bad beard, but she's wearing boohoo. You know what I mean? It's like,
she's wearing Sean. Sean just not moving yet.
See a baby, you see a baby and she's wearing boohoo. You're like, fam, I know you got that for like a 10 or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, got from ASOS $2.99, and you think, right, and you can tell you just like, shit. Oh no.
You know what I mean? Okay, but seriously though, it looks proper good. It looks really, really good. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 though.
I respect it. Chris, what's your rating?
I'm gonna give it 8.5 because I don't think they pay. It's black for the right reasons. It's not black like last time for the right reasons. It's black because it's fat. I don't rate that, so it gets down some marks. The black pepper's not in that car, bruv. You know the big, you know when your Rick Ross does the black tops to hide the flab in it. That's what that car's doing, bruv.
Oh my God! Fucking hell!
Nah, you see that there? Yeah, that's out of context. Pitstop Fracas. We just need to clip that right there. Just upload it somewhere. No context.
Nah, 100%.
That's funny, bro. Wait, you're gonna get cooked if that comes out.
Oh my God! Imagine this goes on TikTok.
He's finished, bro. He's cancelled, bro. First ever cancelled Pitstop member.
Boy, we're gonna have to put out statement tweets up, but yeah, like we stand with Chris and all shit like this.
We stand with Chris. Hey, man said we stand with Chris. I will throw this brother under the bus immediately, bro. Don't even play with me, man.
I say no money, no more industry parties, yeah.
Yeah, man, you're not fucking up my money. Yeah? You're not fucking up my money, bro.
Right, when we don't see him on start with my jam, that's when we don't speak, you know. Boy, we don't see him chatting to Tan Yellow something. Hey, it's peak. Listen. It's peak. Oh, stupid, shit. Man.
You're stupid, man. You're stupid.
Right, Kwame, what's Kwame, what's your ranking, bro? Fuck you know.
9.5 still.
Hey, Kwame, just say a number so we can get this over.
9.5, fam.
Oh, I'm giving it a 10. Baddest bitch in the room when she walks in, you feel me? Straight up. No, I'm saying. I put a Gucci ring on that bit. You get me?
Listen. Say no more, bro.
Listen.
Is that how you move? All right, calm.
Hey, not too much on me, Kane. Not too much on me, boy.
We're gonna find out later anyway. We're gonna find out for real, bro.
And listen, let me end this pod, yeah? It's been 2 hours, yeah? So I get to bit, Kwame after dark. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
it's stupid, man.
Thank you to listening and watching if you did get this far. Please don't forget to do the usual, you know, like, comment, subscribe, share the pods, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, follow us on the socials, Twitter, Insta, and TikTok. We'll be uploading more content on TikTok. We'll be uploading more content on TikTok. You know, Kwame busting a little steady. You know what I mean? Putting some clips for the pods. Maybe Chris at an industry party covering his face. You know what I mean? Like he crank face or something. Maybe you might even see me or Tariq bust a young two-step. Who knows, innit? But
Hey.
nobody, some fire content is coming soon, you get me? But listen, thank you for rocking with us. And we'll tune in. Make sure to tune in next time for, I think it might be the DTS review pod. So, yeah, peace.
All right, take care.
Safe.